Hey everybody, it's Ken Perry with the Knowledge Coop, and I want to take a second and talk about a pretty major thing going on in the mortgage and real estate field. And this might get a little controversial, so feel free to make comments below. We're going to talk about Respa and specifically what real estate brokers, real estate agents are looking for in exchange for the referral of business. Now, as you know, it would be illegal to give or receive a thing of value in exchange for the referral of business. The most extreme case I can give you would be when you opened title with a title company and the title company came by and dropped a payday bar off to say, hey, thanks for opening title. That is a gift in exchange for the referral of business. And so obviously that would be a problem under Respa. It's an extreme one, but it could get you $10,000 fine plus a year in prison. So I don't know if anybody has gone to prison for a payday bar, but that's the potential. Where it gets to be really ugly is when you start seeing some of these agreements between real estate folks and mortgage folks or title folks and real estate folks where real estate companies want to make more money, and so they refer business to a specific company in exchange for something. Now, it's obvious if they give them $5,000 for the referral of business, that would be a violation, right? So what do? We write it up as marketing services arrangements or marketing services agreements. And what that is where the real estate and the mortgage company get together and say, okay, we'll give you this and you give us this. We'll give you this and you give us this. And a marketing services agreement would not necessarily be a violation of Respa. It just depends on what's in it. And what the regulators will do is the regulators sit down and go through every single bit of that agreement, and they say, okay, let's see, the real estate company's opening up a desk for the mortgage company. Okay, number one, is the desk going to be licensed by the mortgage company to be a branch location, if that's required in that state? But number two, what are they paying for it? And what the regulators will do is they go in and they actually take the lease agreement and they compare it to a comp analysis of nearby places for rent to make sure that they're not paying more than they're supposed to. So the CFPB has gone after a lot of companies actually now for these agreements not being fair. Let's say the mortgage company is paying a little bit more than they should, or the title company is paying more than they should. Well, up until recently, it was the CFPB going after these things. Well, the attorneys are all over it now, which leads me to this week we read that over in Connecticut, there is a real estate company, pretty large. It is alleged that they actually referred all their business to a title company in exchange for this marketing agreement type thing. And so the attorneys looked at it, the courts looked at it, and they just certified a class action against that real estate company. Now, I don't know if they're guilty, and I don't know enough about the case because it's still being worked on. It's not a finalized case, but I do know $11.2 million is quite a bit of money if that ends up being what they have to give back, plus damages and all that stuff. The big thing that I need you to pay attention to is now real estate companies are being looked at for Respa violations. Up until now, we've seen a lot of mortgage companies get busted, title companies get busted, but we don't see real estate companies get busted. If this happens, if this goes through, if they lose this case, that will be the biggest case by a real estate company that's been lost based on a Respa violation. You can bet that the CFPB is moving on real estate folks as much as they're moving on mortgage folks right now when it comes to these Respa violations. So my advice to you, if you are a mortgage company and you have a marketing services agreement or a joint venture affiliated business, go back and look at that document and make sure that you're doing everything by the letter of the law and the rule. If you're a real estate company, don't go after business and just hope somebody's going to give you additional money for your referrals. It's not going to work. And if you're a real estate company and have a marketing services agreement, please look at that agreement. If, let's say, the mortgage company is paying a real estate company $4,000 in marketing costs, what really is that paying for? That needs to be clearly defined because up until now, remember, it was mortgage company getting busted, but it's illegal to give or receive a referral business, so we see real estate companies starting to pay the price for these things as well. My ultimate challenge is this. Let's go back to the way we used to do business. Real estate folks make money off the real estate, off all the work they do to sell or work with a buyer to buy a house. Mortgage companies, you guys go back to making money on the mortgages and you keep that money. And the way that we pick who we refer business to should be based on the quality of the experience. And that's very basic understanding of Respa right there. The very basic understanding of Respa is let's make sure the borrower's taken care of and getting great service and that the decision is not based on anything except for quality. Where this goes wrong is if the mortgage company is not that good and the real estate company is referring them because they're getting a thing of value, the borrower gets jacked. And so let's go back to good business, sending business to quality people just for the fact that they do a great job. You guys have a great week. and we will talk to you later. I will see you in the coop. I'm Ken Perry.